Welcome back, everyone. We will now begin with our second session of the day. But before that, I will remind you of the form. The feedback form to mark your attendance and get your CSD points will be passed to you at the end of this workshop. It will remain open for 15 minutes, so please fill it up quickly. At the end of this workshop session, we would also like to take a group selfie. We hope you are not shy this time around, so please be prepared to turn on your cameras. Okay, so our second workshop of the day will be presented by Dr. Syaheerah. Dr. Syaheerah Lebai Lutfi holds both her DEA and PhD degrees from the Speech Technology Group at the University Politécnica de Madrid, Spain, in June 2015. She also holds a master's degree in software engineering from Universiti Malaya. She is currently a senior lecturer at the School of Computer Sciences, USM. Her passion revolves around human-computer interactions with a specific focus on effective computing, encompassing behavior analytics, personality, culture and mood, and emotion analysis and modeling. Dr. Syaheerah has contributed significantly to the field, with over 60 published papers in reputable journals and conferences. Notably, she serves as the EU Erasmus Coordinator for the UPM Madrid USM collaboration since 2015. Her workshop is titled AI, Your Study Buddy with a Conscience. Should students embrace AI as a valuable ally or treat it with caution? That is the big question that will be discussed in Dr. Syaheerah's talk. In principle, it is a two-way discussion on the balance between using AI tools for enhancement versus dependency through real-world examples of AI misuse in research. This talk reveals the risks and consequences, including potential career pitfalls. This talk will provide practical insights on how to navigate the ethical challenges and opportunities that AI presents. The key question this talk will address is how to engage with AI responsibly and cautiously, ensuring students harness its potential without being overshadowed by it. Before I pass on to Dr. Syaheerah, I would like to remind you that if you have any questions, you can post them in the chat, and that the feedback form will be provided at the end of this workshop session, and it will be for both the sessions. There's only one workshop form for today, which will mark your attendance. Okay, I pass now to Dr. Syaheerah. Please share your presentation with us.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi everybody, how you doing? I can't hear.
Hi.
Okay. Should I share my presentation first?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I'll just share. Okay, can you see the presentation, the full screen of the presentation? All of you?
We can.
Okay. All right. All right, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to talk about something that you all like very much, which is Gen AI, right? Or AI in general. The title of the presentation today is Your Study Buddy with the Conscience and for AI lah. And I would like you all to please, I would like to emphasize that this is not going to be a one-way presentation. Hopefully that you all can also participate in the presentation. You know, when I ask question or something like that, you know, we will use chat, we can use voice. Okay, somebody is sending a text. Samira, if somebody send a text, just let me know what is it, because I have two screens here.
Someone is asking you to move closer to the microphone. They say they're not hearing you well.
Is it better now? Can the committee hear me well?
I can hear you, yeah. We can, right?
Okay, so it's clear. All right. So this is a subject that is a favorite subject. Not really a subject lah. It's really the tools, favorite tools that nowadays students do use, and also something that is something that the educators are struggling with. But it is not that we are trying to blame the tools that you're using. It's just the practice. We want to see whether we want to talk about whether the practices are ethical or not. These are the tools that we can actually use to enhance our knowledge rather than be dependent on it. So in this workshop, what we will do is, okay, let's see the second one. Okay. Hopefully what you will remember after this workshop are three things. All right. First, we are going to look at top 3 ways students use AI to cheat with some real sample cases. When I say real sample cases, it can be from me, myself, my students, and also from my colleagues, and also from outside that I found from external sources. And then how completely outsourcing your brains to AI could completely destroy you. Okay, to outsource completely. When I say completely, that means you're being dependent on the generative AI. It could actually damage you. And how to leverage Gen AI. That means we're looking at the dimension of enhancement and dependency. Right? Are you enhancing yourself by using it? Is it aiding or assisting you, or rather you're very dependent on it? Without it, you cannot move. Your hands cannot move, your legs cannot move, your brain cannot move, you freeze. Okay? And then we will have a very short, hopefully frivolous exercise. Okay? All right. Now, moving on. Before I start, okay, I would like you to answer me. You can use your voice or you can use text. How many of you how many of you now find yourself depending on these two tools? What is the first one? You can see, right? The first tool that you see on the left is a calculator. Maybe scientific calculator, maybe not. This is a manual one. So how many of you think that you cannot live without it to do any calculation? Now, if I ask you, what is 2.5% out of 2,000? Who can answer me? Quickly, don't use, don't cheat. Try not to cheat. You can say yes for me, calculator. During my childhood, during my time in primary and primary school up to 15 years old, we are not allowed to use any calculator. So what is 2.5% out of 2,000? Anyone? Can you type it? I don't see any.
Yeah, we got 150 in the chat.
Is it correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see here, when I ask, you cannot right away calculate it, correct? So this is the same thing that is happening to my kids as well nowadays, because since primary school, they were asked to use calculator. It's not considered as a destructive technology, but it's destructive to us. And you look at on the right side now, what do you see? It's a GPS, right? Global Positioning System. I want you to type yes or no for this question, okay? How many of you are dependent on the GPS when you are driving, even in your own town? How many? You can type yes. I just want to see quickly. Yes or no. If you say no, I don't need it. I'm like a taxi driver. I have a neural network of pathways, and I can memorize everything. Like a the yellow cab taxi drivers or the red taxi driver in Malaysia last time lah. Now we don't have. You all have Grab. Even Grab drivers are using GPS all the time. So how many of you are dependent on it? Yes or no? Samira, can you see the chat?
Yeah, I can. Many yeses, but Dr. Xia says no.
Dr. what?
Dr. Xia.
Who's Xia? Me?
Dr. Xia Yuan.
Oh, Dr. Chia.
Our PhD.
Dr. Chia is an expert. Good. Me too. Sometimes I use GPS. Okay, sometimes not. And I keep telling my kids, try to know. No, they just give me an excuse. They keep on saying, no, we want to see. We are not using because we do not know the path. We just want to see what is the optimum way to get to the destination. Because GPS also gives you the information on traffic, jam and all that, right? But that is just an excuse lah. I know sometimes. Maybe sometimes it's true, sometimes excuse. Now, before we start the workshop, right? I mean, this is part of it anyway. Can you please answer all of the 3 questions that you see in this Mentimeter? Okay, maybe you can scan and then there are 3 sets of questions. Hopefully I can also show you the answer. Okay, maybe you can scan. Everybody, if you cannot scan, if you're finding yourself if it's tough to scan and to get in, then you can go to menti.com and join with this code 32633168. Okay, so for the first question, let's see the second questions. All right. Okay. There were 9 people. What about the rest? All right. For the first question, what are the AI tools that you use to do your assignment or task? Somebody said hi. I do not know what is the tool called hi, but most of you answered ChatGPT. There's only 9 of you. There's about 130 people here, I think. So how about the rest? Some say Chat PDF. Oh, Chat PDF, something quite new to me. Chat GPT, Chat GPT. Hard. What is hard? Some say Killbot. What about the rest? There's only 11 responses. Any of you use Claude, Copilot, DALL-E, GitHub Copilot, GPT-4, Gemini? Esmat say Gemini. Oh, okay. Somebody wants to open the code. All right, let me see. This is the code. 32633168. Okay, I'll just let this open. Okay, there are more responses now. So most of you are actually using ChatGPT, correct? Most of you are, well, can you type down to me what do you use ChatGPT for? Okay, and I think you have answered the other questions as well. So let me see. I mean, some of you are already in. Probably because it has a maximum, Mentimeter nowadays, maybe they have a maximum amount of people that can actually, number of people that can actually participate. That's why they have cut off some others. But it's okay. For in general, we just want to, because I'm not sure, probably only about 30 or 50. I'm not sure. Okay. But let me see the second one. The second question has said that, be honest, have you cheated using AI? But I think you have a problem to access the second one, but it's okay. What I will do is I'm going to ask directly to you, and then for you to type it in. Now, how many of you? Why I'm asking under using a Mentimeter is because you can just put any name, but here you have no choice now. You need to you need to reveal yourself, which is also fine, right? Okay. Tell me. Be honest? Have you cheated? Do you think that do you believe that you have cheated using generative AI for your work, for your assignment, for your research, for your, in general, for your work? Can you type yes or no? Fadil Ibrahim said no. Marwa said no. No, of course. No, 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 no. Okay, so you don't believe that you have cheated. Okay, so what if I said I changed the question to, do you believe that you have used generative AI to assist you in your work? Okay, so this is the thing when it comes to with questionnaire. Sometimes when the questionnaire is asked in such way, you use the word assist, yeah, it's more positive, and you say yes. But when you say cheat is a negative word, right? And you say no. But sometimes, okay, the third question would be, do you think that you have, you may have, you may not realize that you are not using generative AI ethically? Yes or no?
Yeah, doctor, can you repeat the question again?
Do you think that you have used, do you think that you have mistakenly used generative AI or unethically used generative AI for your work? Do you think that you have unethically used it but without realizing it really? Okay, so all of you are very confident that you've realized. Samira said yes, Bingo said yes. Some of you were honest enough to say yes, meaning to say that, you do not realize whether or not you have made, you have used it or utilized it unethically, right? And some of you maybe are ignoring the fact. Can you hear me?
Yeah, doctor, we can see the code on the screen. So if you are meaning to share something else.
Oh, yeah.
this
I'm
is what-
moving on. I'm moving on.
Okay.
Okay, so there is this thin line between enhancement and dependency. All right, there's this thin line between enhancement and dependency. Now, some of you may not agree with me, some of you may agree with me, but I'm just going to I'm going to introduce something that I have found empirically, all right, and something that some educators, okay, have agreed that this is unethical. I'm not saying that the use of the tools itself is unethical, okay, but the practice could be unethical. Now, first, we will move on to the first section, okay? AI to cheat. There are top 7 ways students cheat using AI with real sample cases. And here, what's interesting is the quote here. If ChatGPT makes it easy to cheat on an assignment, teachers should throw out the assignment rather than ban the chatbot. Chatbot meaning GPT-4, okay? GPT-4 powered chatbot, for example. This is from MIT Tech Review. Note that educators are not blaming the tools, and the focus is not actually the tools, but really the practice of the students in the way that you use your tool. Just now, most of you were confident enough to say that I'm sure I did not cheat. I only use it to assist me. But these things are happening because sometimes you don't realize that you're using it unethically. You may not realize. Okay, let's see some examples. Okay, first, number one way to cheat, okay, is to generate research paper and academic writing. All right, now, what do? They use generative AI tools to write essay for them. Okay, and then sometimes you can use it for proofreading. No problem to use it for proofreading, but to write essays, to write your research papers, and then to just put a prompt and come out and then admit something that is not even yours. All right, and that leads educators to incorporate assessment methods that normally they don't do. For example, oral examination, physical presentations. That's what I do in my class now. I do not want reports anymore for assignments. Because reports, wow, is beautiful, always is beautiful. better than how I can write. Okay? Yeah, Musab says just not ethical. Sometimes we cannot trust. Yeah, I'm going to come to that. Now, you know that, for example, ChatGPT, which is the biggest tool that most of you are using here, most popular tool, it is actually just taking the data, is recycling whatever that it has. It just trains on the data that is available on the internet. On the internet, half of the thing is not true, right? You cannot authenticate. So there's no one is authenticating it for you. You can get some kind of response. You can put a prompt, and try to get some kind of references, but you need to check it yourself. Okay, and most importantly, you see here unauthentic expressions, the overuse of the same recycled words. Later we will see some of the words, and it will prevent essential writing skills. In computer science is still, I think, okay, but in fields like mass communication, language, literature, lecturers have thrown in their towel and just walk away. Many of the lecturers that I read, when I was reading about this, many of them, they are very frustrated. They are not happy because they are teaching writing skills and it's not working, because their students, 70% of their students, one study reported about 70% of the students are using LLMs, okay, to write essays, because their work is mainly about essays, about writing skills, about grammar, about linguistic studies. Now, many of them also use this for math answers and algorithm without understanding the underlying problem or the concept of the math. And Turnitin in 2024 has reported over 22 million essays that were generated by AI. And they quote this as the end of civilization as we know it. Okay, most of the time students even send emails using ChatGPT nowadays. So that some of the common tools that people use now, the students use, is ChatGPT, GPT-4, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, Copilot. Remember, this Copilot is okay to use for assist, but if you're too used to it, it's going to be habitual. It's not going to be Copilot anymore. It's going to be autopilot for you. Okay. Now, look at this on this left side. I think it's a bit small. These are the common ChatGPT words. That means if my student, I used to have one student who have used for his mixed mode. He have used ChatGPT 100% to write. I mean, the work is his, but he has used it 100% to write. So I noticed, it's not just him lah, many of my students. So I noticed that they have been using the same repeated word. Can you see the word here that is saying that it mentions here delve, something to delve with, something, explore, testament, realm, in the realm of ABC, resonate. So we know from this, because it keeps on recycling the words. Okay. This is an example of a real email that was sent to me. You will not know who the person is, so don't worry. It's a bit small, but I hope that you all can see it. This is a candidate student who sent me an email to ask whether he can do his, I think, master's or PhD with me. I don't remember, maybe PhD. If you can see, I hope what he says is that, I hope this email finds you well. I'm reaching out to express my strong interest. I've been following your research work in human-computer interaction, effective computing, and I am truly inspired by the innovative. This is not the first time that I receive, I'm truly inspired by the energy. I've already memorized, some of the sentences. So what I replied to him, thanks for the email. Although I wish you candidate seekers did not use too much ChatGPT. After that, he didn't reply to me at all. Okay. So when many students send ChatGPT generated emails, it just made me think that they are not bold. I mean, on my perspective, they are not bold or authentic enough to express themselves authentically. What does this make them? Can they become good students who genuinely wants to empower themselves with knowledge? If just email, they're using ChatGPT generated emails. Okay, sometimes lecturers, on our perspective, we may be thinking that way. We are not impressed with perfectly um, arranged words or grammar. We are not really impressed with that. We are more happy to be with students or to advise students who are more authentic and bold, even though the English is bad. All right. Now, number two, real-time Q&A answering. Who use this? Type yes for real-time Q&A answering. Who does this? This is very, did you see a yes? I don't see a yes. Is everyone saying no? Not during test? No. Oh, you can hang. You're perfect. Your answers are all perfect. Okay, so you don't use it for Q&A answering. All right. For assignment? What about for assignment? Assignment, yes, right? Sometimes we do it too. Yeah, research mode, you don't have tests. That's true. These are more for the class students who are taking taught courses. Okay, taught courses, mixed mode students or 100% taught courses. Well, for when you use this in a real-time Q&A answering, it makes it look like closed book exam become unmonitored open book experience. Now, instead of recalling what you study, what they studied, they just insert a prompt, and then there's no more retention of the knowledge. Okay, and then usage can include chat bots powered by GPT-4. It's all about knowledge versus paper qualification, because people who does this, they just want paper qualification. If you see here, is a real example from my own test. I couldn't fit in all. There are 7 students who cheated during the test, and they did not admit it at first. Samira knows, right? Because you were there. She was my TA. We called all 7 students, and she was shocked to see that they said no, they studied. So I didn't put all 7 here, like I said, because it doesn't, the space, it's not fitting. All of them have same exact answer. Even though I had 6 invigilators during the test. 6 invigilators during the test, including me. And they were not allowed, they were there physically, but they were using device. All right? And they still cheated. And then the answers are all the same, except for, this grammatically is a bit different, but then he was answering the same term. Okay? And they still did not admit until I said, okay, it's okay, we can go and see the dean. Upon hearing the word dean, they admitted. They say, yes. I said, how did you do it? How is it all the same? No, they said they used ChatGPT and they log in using the same login information. So the history was already there. They just copied and paste. They think that they are clever. We are cleverer. They think there were hundreds of students. I think at that time my class was 112 students. And they thought I would not notice this, but we are quite vigilant. We are used to this. All right. And number 3. Well, for number 3, I would like to play this video. Wait, hold on. Number 3, not yet. This is number 2. This is something to do with, this is also real-time question and answering, real-time Q&A answering, but this time using Ray-Ban Meta. Have you heard about Ray-Ban Meta? It is a Ray-Ban glasses that were embedded with AI technology. Okay, I would like to play this. Hold on. I need to. Okay. Okay, I hope you can hear.
Hey Meta, take a look and give me the answer to question.
Can you hear this first? Can you hear the, okay, that's good. So what I will do is play this again. This is Spanish YouTube, by the way, but if you don't understand, I can translate it. So Meta Ray-Ban, huh?
Hey Meta, take a look and give me the answer to question 1. A, B, C, or D?
The answer to question 1 is B.
Ya tengo visión en la web.
So basically, did you see what he did? You know, when students come for exam, we ask them to take away their smartwatch, their earpods, you know, everything we ask them to take away. Now probably we have to ask them to take away even to keep away their glasses. So I'm afraid some students that are genuinely having problem with vision is going to have a problem with it. Well, I'm going to play this a bit more.
Así que, si estáis haciendo un examen y lo utilizáis, aseguraros de comprobar la respuesta. Vamos a probarlo de nuevo para que veáis que esto funciona. Hey, Meta, take a look and tell me what's the answer to question 2. A, B, C, or D?
The answer to question 2 is C.
Bien, si hay algún matemático en la sala que me diga si eso es correcto.
So what he's trying to say is that is correct. All right. Now I've added it in my slide, and you can actually go watch it. Watch the whole thing. All right. It's quite interesting. We go back to my screen. Yep. Sorry. Take this back here. Can you see my screen again? Everybody?
Yes, we can.
Good. Now we will move on to the third one. All right, AI humanizing. Anyone know what is AI humanizing? Anyone can guess what is AI humanizing? Exactly. So to simulate, to put some human touch. What people do nowadays, the students do, they try to manipulate the plagiarism tools. You know, Turnitin, well, it's not definitive, but Turnitin is able to also tell whether this piece of information or the essay or the report is produced by AI or produced by human being. All right. Now, what the students do nowadays is that they go to another tool. You know, they use another tool. Like, for example, here you have undetectable.ai. You can go to the site, and they try to humanize it. That means they try to add some human touch. Now, this is an example of a review paper that I'm actually looking at. I cannot show you the whole thing. It's something on cyberbullying. Bystander helper. It's a review paper that was sent to me. When I use this system, when I use this tool, undetectable.ai, it says that your content is detected as written by AI. What I have to do, or the student had to do, is basically just to click humanize. Well, I did not pay for you have to pay for this service. So I couldn't see what happened, what can happen. So but I can guess that when you click on humanize, what it tries to do is to try to take away the repeated terms, the recycled terms, and some of the students even add typos on purpose to make it look like it is written by a human. Okay, interesting, huh? All right. Now, that is the first part. I hope you remember some of the ways the student cheat, right? Maybe not you, but there are students who cheat. We are moving on to the second part of the workshop, which is AI dependency. Now, how completely outsourcing your brains to AI could destroy you. And again, this quote is also interesting. The greatest disadvantage of dependence on AI is dependence on AI. Do you understand what it means? It's quite ironic. The greatest disadvantage of dependence of AI is dependence on AI itself. Now, if you see this, you see this pill right here. So dependency on AI is like dependency on something like, like smart pills. If the smart pills actually substitute our brain, right, to sustainably develop the neural circuits that we have, the enhanced cognition, those circuits will not get developed. Okay, so the result will be diminished, not an enhanced cognition. And that is going to render us to be dependent on more smart pills on a longer period of time. So there is no creativity or knowledge empowerment really, but loss of confidence. Do you agree with me? Have some of you felt like you are dependent on generative AI, that you feel that it's impacting your confidence? You can be honest. It's okay. We are human beings. You can put yes or no. Do you feel like you are dependent on generative AI, that you are feeling like your confidence is impacting your confidence? Marwa say yes. At some point, yes, to double confirm some confusion. Arish said no. Okay. Anyone else? It's okay. I mean, you can be authentic and bold about it. Dua said no, not yet. Okay, good. Okay, so let's look at this AI dependency. This is a visualization that I like very much. This was from an author that used to be a faculty member in a university in the US, Brandis Marshall. She's now a writer. She's also a book author. So she came up with this visualization that shows 95% people use AI generated contents, okay, and 70% use AI assisted. And then this is tech first approach, and only 30% use AI enhanced and 5% use AI light. AI light is a reduced capacity of AI tool that is just with basic functionality and capabilities. All right. So if you can see, this is tech first and people second. So you see here, people first approach here, and then tech first approach here. So this is quite boring actually. This is quite boring. You can see, you can read the source. By clicking on the source. Now, AI for creativity and knowledge, is it a friend or a foe? When we talk about creativity, we also have some embedded critical thinking. We talk about problem identification. So this is the creativity loop, which is quite similar to research, right? You need to identify the problem, and then there needs to be some idea generation, and then you need to evaluate your ideas whether this is working through some sort of methodology. Correct? This is a simplified research process. Correct? So we are talking about creativity, we are talking about knowledge, and there is a downside of using too much generative AI, and this is coming from some studies. Actually, I look at some studies, and they have been all bundled up in this study. Sabrina Habib and colleagues in Journal of Creativity, 2024, very recent, I think in April. Okay, so what they found out from the students, from hundreds of students, a study using hundreds of students, the downside of brainstorming, they think that this is effective for brainstorming, but there's a but. It can, the downside of it is that brainstorming with AI could cause over-reliance. So some students have voiced out over-reliance on the technology, all right? And they fear that it can undermine their own thoughts, and consequently, this diminish their confidence in their creative abilities. So some students reported also fixation of mind. Fixation of mind is that once they saw the AI's ideas, they had a hard time coming with their own. Have you ever faced this? Can you type yes or no? That when the AI, give out some ideas, you're fixated on it. That means you have a hard time to come out on your own. Yes or no? Can I see a Y or an N, or yes or no? Are you fixated when you see some ideas, brought about by your ChatGPT, for example? No? Sometimes yes. Dr. Chia, of course, no lah. Okay, so a lot of you said no, but there are students, okay, the students that they did the study with, who honestly answer the after, after before and after survey, they did say no, that they are fixated with it. All right. And novelty and impact. Now, remember, okay, when you look at this, look at the before that, right? Look at the left side here. Can you read the article? It's a bit small, yeah? It's a bit small. Well, the article here, can't read, yeah? It's a bit small. Well, the article here is written by a qualitative research expert. Okay, so this I took from LinkedIn, very recent. And the area that I have highlighted says that this means it was talking about how AI threatens to destroy qualitative research, how AI is not good for qualitative research. Okay, so I read it and I thought something is amiss, for someone who has been reading academic research paper a lot, and also some blogs on academic matters. This is a little bit off, this article. Okay, here it says that this means that in the very near future, it may be possible for AI to take over many of the tasks currently performed by moderators. This would not only reduce the need for human researchers, but it would also limit the ability of researchers to provide unique insights and interpretation that only humans can provide. So it's a little bit contrary there. It's saying that AI will take over, but it's also saying that it can limit the ability of researchers to provide insights that and interpretation that only human can provide. So if only human can provide, it's not going to, it can never replace human. But in some part of the article, it says that it's going to replace human, this and that. So it's not very consistent. Okay. Only that at the end of the last paragraph I found, she said, "Oh, I didn't write a single word of this article above this line. I entered the prompt, write an article in the style of LinkedIn posts about how AI poses a significant danger to those who practice qualitative research into ChatGPT, and 3 seconds later, the text above appeared." It's terrifying. Because he himself, so I also saw some of the comments, they said that there's something off until they read the end, So if the experts can actually notice this, that means we know that it's only recycling some words and some paragraph that it has trained upon, right? So this is dangerous. And so this comes to this realization that we need to know that PhD research, for example, is assessed by its novelty, and for master's research is assessed by its mastery. So you need to demonstrate mastery in order to get your master's, and novelty for your PhD. All right. And sometimes generative AI may help to add some spices, but not really novelty. When it writes papers, it can be quite formulaic. Formulaic, it means like too mechanical, following the repeated rules. It's not authentic, again. And you should know your research like the back of your hand, because okay? Because you have a viva voce, an oral defense, and that could reveal whether you understand your own research or not. And ChatGPT is never going to help you with that. AI is never going to help you with that, because the examiners will always know how to drill you, right? That's the whole point of viva voce. So earlier on, like from the article, let's say that this is a PhD student. I would wonder how this person is an award-winning researcher or PhD holder, because the content is a bit amateuristic and formulaic. It's quite bland, and it's agreed by a lot of comments that I read there. And therefore, completely outsourcing your brain to AI to write your work with formulaic and bland write-ups. Okay, and there's no critical thinking applied, because it cannot critically think for you. It can only assist you to give some ideas for brainstorming. Okay, so up to brainstorming level is fine. And worse, if you just follow and take everything that it says, which has happened time and again, even with my own students previously, they have cited the wrong sources. All right, they have started, and this is very dangerous. I happen to check it, but what if the supervisor or the advisor don't check it, but the examiners know? Or when you publish, and people start writing, say that this is not the right sources, or it's going to be very embarrassing, right? Now, details matter. I love this quote actually, and I always love all quotes from Blumenthal. Details matter, they create depth, and depth creates authenticity. See this? This is a PhD. Okay, this is breadth of knowledge and depth of knowledge. Your research specialty is here, and these are other related work. Okay, so this is the research specialty. So that's why details matter. AI cannot give you details, such details. Only human can, only you can. Okay. And the whole idea of research, the term research means search and research. It indicates depth, not breadth. Right? We are moving on to the third part, which is leveraging AI. Okay, this is going to be short, I promise you. Enhancement versus dependency. Now, the key to success with AI is not just having the right data, but also asking the right questions, says the former CEO of IBM, Ginni Rometty. We are looking now at the enhancement part. All right. Now, how do you enhance your knowledge? How do you enhance your work? This is by assisting and not producing the whole thing. For example, I think I'm missing one of the. All right. For example, to formulate research question and to even help you to find for some papers is okay, but you need to be able to check it yourself. You need to check it yourself and be able to know whether the resources are authentic or not, okay, whether it's validated. But you can also help AI to formulate research question. For example, there are 2 ideas for emotion detection using eye gaze. This is like my area. So you can put the idea 1, idea 2, formulate 5 potential research questions I can use to compare and contrast these concepts. Remember, what it does, what it produces is, like, for example, GPT-4, ChatGPT is only to make it look professional, grammatically right, but the logic sometimes is not there. The logic lies with you, all right? Another example is that my research question is, can gaze be used to detect subtle emotions by itself or combined with other modalities? Now, improve it to be more focused and answerable within a 1,000 word text. Okay, if you look, these are the ways that actually even I use ChatGPT or Claude, Copilot sometimes. Okay, moving on to visualize data. This one are usually added in the premium version. Okay, there's some examples, some prompts that I give here. My research report includes the following information. You give your data, suggest the most applicable visual format to demonstrate this data. Personally, I've used this once and I find it okay. Not perfect, but I find it okay. But it's not actually suggesting the best ways to present your visualization. Okay, just whatever that it has managed to crawl from and train from the internet. So you still need to check yourself. You still need to validate. You need to be the supervisor of yourself. Now, some other examples like which colors of the graph in the report, and make a table with 2 rows. One row should have the title and content, list of item, and then the other row should be entitled in a row, and then it can actually produce you with that. Now, that is how you can use, basically prompt. But please do not become just prompt experts. You need to be the domain experts as well. Okay. We have a little exercise. All right. I call it the little doggy exercise. If you could scan this and join the quiz. I think, Samira, quizzes allow around 50 people, right?
I'm not sure how much.
Okay, so maybe we will give about 2 to 3 minutes for them to scan and join, and please answer. It's just a small exercise. Invalid game code. Can you see the QR code, guys? That is the new one, I think, generated. Okay. Okay, then I think we can start now. Oh, there's still 48. 2 more people. Oh, there's more than 50 you can add. All right. Okay, I think that's it. Now, everybody get ready. Oh, more. Because once I start the quiz, you probably wouldn't be able to see the QR code anymore. Any more? 30 more seconds. Okay. I think we will have to start now with 58 participants. 60. Everyone done? Okay. Okay, if you're done, just put yes there, and I will stop. Okay. All right. So let us look at the answers. I'm not able. I have to show this screen of the answers, of how you answer. So it says here the 60% completion rate, it's total student 68, which is correct. There are 7 questions and 29% of accuracy. So how do you feel when you're answering this? First, I want to know that. How do you feel? Maybe you want to share what's your feeling when you're doing the question. Do you think that it's tough, it's easy? Okay, the chart is not clear. The picture is too small and hard to interpret. Unclear, hard to see the picture in the phone clearly. Okay, understand. Chart is not very clear. Okay, well, we checked actually with Samira that the chart was actually clear, but you just need to zoom it out. Okay, you need to zoom it out. Anyway, not clear conception of understanding, correct? Okay, good. So here it is showing, you may use, this is the first question, the 7th question. You may use an LLM to answer this question. Out of these 3 dog breeds, which would you prefer to have as a pet and why? Bulldog, golden retriever, or poodle? Okay, this one is actually really up to you, because is it looking at the chart? No, this one is not looking at the chart. This is actually to demonstrate that it is really up to you, and if you do not know the answer, you can use LLM and it will give you some answers. May not be correct, may not be incorrect. So everything is considered correct in here because we did not suggest any answer. Okay, now according to the chart, which would be the best pet? Bulldog, golden retriever, or poodle? Let me show you.
Okay, go back. Questions.
Okay, we go back to the question.
Just click on. Yeah.
Supposed to work when you click on this. When you click on this, could you see it clearly? Because I could see it on my phone. If you zoom out, you're supposed to be able, after zoom also blur. Oh, for me it's quite okay. We open image in a new tab. Yeah. Hold on. Can you make it bigger? Well, I don't know what, but on my phone and on my computer, it looks well. It looks okay. But this is trying to say that you have to look at the chart. You know, some people, they do use ChatGPT or AI to insert charts, and then it will churn out answers to you. And sometimes the answers are wrong, sometimes the answers are correct. So what happened in a recent test that I did, students are not able, because sometimes, you know, to put in the picture, you have certain number of trials only. After that, you will need to use the premium version. And the question here is that which would be the best pet? Bulldog, golden retriever, or poodle? Poodle, sorry, not poodle. The answer is actually poodle. Okay, let me try to open the. Can you see it? Okay, this is actually the chart. But anyway, the whole idea is this is the golden retriever, poodle, bulldog. So that's 4 dimension, explicably overrated, hot dog, rightly ignored, and overlooked treasures. So what he's trying to say is that over here, this is actually the best. Because even though they are the best dogs, but they are being ignored because they're overlooked. All right, and this one are overrated dogs. Why overrated? Because you can see their intelligence, their size, you know. The one that is looking on the right is clever, the one that is looking on the left is actually dumb. So many, and then the green, what does green mean? It's working dog. Yeah, the access. So this is on popularity, and this is data score, the real original data score. So this is based on popularity or perception. This is based on data score. So basically, that is what the, maybe it's not clear. So it's actually it's such a shame that it's actually not clear. Oops. But basically, you can see anything that has got to do with the chart is more incorrect. And the one that uses LLM are usually the better ones. Well, it doesn't mean that everything is correct. Because here, for example, you use an LLM to answer the question, out of 3 dogs, which would at least prefer to have a pet and why? If you use ChatGPT, it usually says Afghan Ham. But if you look at the chart, it is a bulldog, I think. Okay, let me go back to the chart. Look at the bulldog. It is inexplicably overrated. Okay, it's overrated, highly popular, but then looking at the data, it is not good. It's the lowest. Okay, the right data. So that is the what it's trying to say, right? But ChatGPT answers Afghan Hoon. So you can imagine if you follow ChatGPT, you're not going to get the correct answer. Okay, most of the time lah. Most of the time, or sometimes not at all. So depending on things that need critical thinking, something that has got to do a lot more with cognitive abilities, I don't think ChatGPT is a good option for you, right? All right. So that was just a small demo. I understand that you know, if you could have seen this clearly, maybe you would have had better answers. I don't know. Well, okay. I think that's all until here. I do not. Let me unshare all of this. Okay, now you can see me. So, thank you very much. I hope that you have enjoyed the talk and maybe also enjoyed the exercise. And remember, everybody, depth spells authenticity. Okay, so be authentic by looking at depth. Right, that is the lesson also for me while I was doing this talk. Right. Thank you so much, everybody. And if you have any question, you can always email me, Syaheerah@usm.my. Thank you so much, Samira.
Thank you, doctors.
Dr. Gan, Dr. Anusha, I know you all are there. Thank you so much, the committee member of CSPC, and I appreciate that you have invited me. Well, thank you. Jazakallah khairan. Shishani.
Thank you so much, Dr. Syaheerah, for your insightful session. The advice you shared with us on how to responsibly navigate AI in our work will definitely be helpful to us all. If you have any questions for Dr. Shah about using AI, you can type it in the chat or open your mic and ask. We will just give you a few minutes to ask any questions you have.
Sure, I'll be very happy to entertain your question. But you're going to get a very direct answer, whether you like it or not.
Okay, we have one. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Doctor.
How do you see using AI in creating codes? Are you doing your PhD, Musa? Okay. I do not see there's a problem using AI in creating codes. The thing is, you're not creating codes. You're taking some library, right? Even a lot of many tools like R, Python, they already have libraries that have abundant of codes. And in software engineering, you're supposed to reuse. So for me, it's fine. But what is it that you are coming up with the code with? You know, the code is going to do what? I mean, what kind of model are you coming up with? The novelty is not the code. It could be some formulation that you want to integrate as a code. How about using AI for about debugging codes that we do ourselves? It's fine. Why not? But you need to validate, right? You need to validate whether the codes run well. I mean, if there's already a library and such resources, even in GitHub, before all this generative AI, you know, we are going to GitHub and we're getting, for me, it's fine to reuse codes. Completely fine to reuse code. But fundamentally, you should be able to know how to program. Yeah, why not?
There's a question from Arij as well.
Arish Deep, how could you change the assessment to replace report? Okay, this is not for undergraduate student. I teach postgraduate. So what happens in postgraduate student, with postgraduate students, there are many, like I think 70% of the students have problems with English, right? And what they do is they try to, the typical ways, they go to ChatGPT and then they produce the report just right. But the way that I do my assessment is something like this. You see the chart, there's no way for them to get an answer using ChatGPT unless they put the chart in, and they may still get a wrong answer. I demonstrated just now to you. ChatGPT say Afghan Hun, but actually the chart shows something else, right? So that is one way. The other way is that usually my students, I ask them to come up with a 3 minutes video. So I want them to showcase their creativity, and they need to speak. So I move on more from report assessment, written assessment, to oral assessment. So with oral assessment, you know, once you are in front of your lecturer, or you're in front of people, even your colleagues, that you need to talk, you need to know what you're talking about. If you're talking nonsense, people will know. So that is how I change. So I do not really want to see reports much anymore, because I know they can come up with perfect reports. But even so, if they have to come up with reports, the questions will be tricky for them to find. So it's also very difficult for me to prepare questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Syaheerah, for answering the questions as well. If you
Vingo
guys
said, Samira, Vingo
Oh.
said, I use ChatGPT for a lot of things, but it's not as smart as me. So I need to modify it. So Vingo is the new tool that we can use because it's better than ChatGPT. Okay, Vingo?
we should all have that confidence.
Yes, all of you should have that confidence because it takes away your confidence. Remember, if you're too dependent, so that's why I was talking about enhancement versus dependency. If you're too dependent on something, it's like you're dependent on a drug. That's it. You will be paralyzed. You cannot function in the community. You cannot function in the industry. So why? This is only going. It's just like drugs. Remember that. Okay, Samira,
Okay.
any other questions? Last question. When can
Alright,
we have our lunch?
Thank you all. Let's just turn on our cameras for another group picture.